In a cozy little house, tucked away at the end of a quiet, starry street, lived a girl named Lena. Lena wasn't just any girl, she was an explorer of small wonders. She could spend a whole afternoon watching a ladybug crawl up a blade of grass or tracing the patterns the rain made on her window pane. Her heart was full of curiosity, and her eyes were always searching for the next little bit of magic in the world. One rainy Saturday, while helping her grandmother tidy the attic, Lena stumbled upon something special. Tucked away in a dusty wooden chest, beneath a pile of old, soft blankets, was a lantern. It wasn't an ordinary lantern. It was made of a dark, swirling wood that felt worn to the touch, and its glass panels were etched with delicate patterns of stars and moons. Lena felt a little hum of energy coming from it, a secret whisper just for her. She cleaned it carefully and placed it on her bedside table. It looked beautiful, but it wouldn't light up no matter how hard she tried. That night, as the grandfather clock in the hall chimed 12 times, something incredible happened. A soft, warm glow began to pulse from inside the lantern. The light grew brighter and brighter, swirling like golden honey, and the stars and moons etched on the glass began to twinkle. Lena watched, wide-eyed, as the light spilled out of the lantern and painted a shimmering, swirling doorway on her bedroom wall. Without a second thought, Lena's curiosity took over. She took a deep breath, held the glowing lantern tightly, and stepped through the portal. She found herself in a forest unlike any she had ever seen. The trees were tall and twisty, with leaves that shimmered in all the colors of the rainbow. The air smelled sweet, like strawberries and fresh rain. Tiny, fluffy creatures with big, kind eyes peeked out from behind glowing mushrooms. They were called lumifers, and they chittered a happy welcome. One of them, a little blue lumifer named Pip, scurried up to her. He pointed a tiny paw towards a sparkling river that was blocked by a jumble of large, mossy stones. The lumifers couldn't get to the delicious sparkleberries on the other side. Lena looked at the heavy stones. They were too big for her to move on her own. Then she looked at the worried faces of the lumifers. "We need to work together," she said with a determined smile. She showed the lumifers how to push together, all at the same time. Pip organized them into little teams. With a big heave-ho, they managed to roll the first stone aside. It was hard work, but seeing the lumifers cheering gave Lena strength. One by one, they cleared a path. The lumifers were so happy they did a little dance and shared their sweetest sparkleberries with Lena, which tasted like sunshine and laughter. Lena felt a warm glow inside her, not just from the lantern, but from the joy of helping new friends. As she waved goodbye to the lumifers, the portal shimmered open again. She stepped through and landed softly in a completely different world. This one was a city made of towering, colorful crystals that chimed with a gentle, musical sound every time the wind blew. The inhabitants were tall, graceful beings made of light, called the Crystallians. They moved with elegance, but they looked very sad. Their city was powered by a giant, central crystal, but its light was fading. The riddle was carved at the base of the crystal. I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I? Lena sat down and thought hard. She pictured the globe in her classroom. Cities, mountains, water ... but they were just drawings on paper. A map, she shouted. The answer is a map. As she spoke the word, the giant crystal pulsed with a brilliant, blinding light. The whole city lit up, and the sad, quiet chimes turned into a beautiful, joyful symphony. The Crystallians danced, their light forms swirling in celebration. They thanked Lena for her cleverness and kindness, gifting her a tiny, chiming crystal that would always remind her to think creatively. This time, she arrived in a quiet, misty valley. The air was cool and filled with the scent of damp earth. In the center of the valley sat a small, timid dragon, no bigger than a large dog. His scales were a beautiful shade of emerald green, but he was huddled into a ball, whimpering softly. Smoke puffed nervously from his nostrils. This was Sparky. He was afraid of his own fire. Every time he got excited or scared, he'd accidentally sneeze a little flame, which frightened him even more. He wanted to play with the other creatures of the valley, but he was worried he would scare them away. Lena approached him slowly, speaking in a soft, gentle voice. "It's okay to be scared," she said. "But your fire is a part of you, and it can be wonderful." She remembered how she was sometimes afraid of the dark, but her night light made her feel brave. She decided to help Sparky practice. "Let's try something," she suggested. "Think of something that makes you really, really happy. Like a warm hug or a funny joke." Sparky closed his eyes and thought about chasing butterflies. A tiny, perfect flame flickered from his nose. He looked at it, surprised. It wasn't scary at all. It was actually quite pretty. They practiced together. Lena would tell him a joke, and he would let out a puff of happy sparks. She taught him to take deep breaths when he felt nervous, just like her dad taught her. Soon, Sparky wasn't afraid anymore. He could control his little flames, making them dance and flicker like fireflies. He was so grateful. He gave Lena a big, warm, and very careful dragon hug. Lena learned that being brave doesn't mean you're never afraid. It means you face your fears, sometimes with a little help from a friend. The lantern's light pulsed, signaling it was time to go. Waving a final goodbye to a much happier Sparky, Lena stepped through the swirling portal one last time. She was back in her own bedroom. The morning sun was just beginning to peek through her curtains. The magical doorway was gone, and the lantern on her bedside table was no longer glowing. It looked just like the ordinary, beautiful lantern she had found in the attic. Was it all a dream? Lena wondered, but then she saw it. On her bedside table, next to the lantern, was a single shimmering sparkle berry, a tiny, chiming crystal, and a beautiful emerald green scale that glinted in the sunlight. Lena smiled. It wasn't a dream. It was a secret, a wonderful, magical secret between her and the midnight lantern. She knew that her adventures were just beginning. The world was full of magic. You just had to be curious enough to look for it, brave enough to step through the door, and kind enough to help the friends you meet along the way. And Lena couldn't wait for the clock to strike midnight again. Thanks for watching our story. We hope you enjoyed Lena's adventure. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more magical tales. See you next time.